How is everyone doing this afternoon? I am very delighted that I have released a wonderful transcription back in 2013, and I have just accurately done very well on Feel This Moment by Pitbull featuring Christina Aguilera. I have actually not been able to listen to because of the copyrighted content being presented. So let's make sure we get the drill started. So what we're going to do before this piece can be transcribed is we need to make sure that the time signature is structured properly. And to do this is think of how many beats there are in each measure and make sure to place the right notes on the right beats for each measure. So the time signature would be in common time. And do you know what key signature we're in? We're in the key signature of G major. Well, the key of G major is the case because you know all the chord progressions fit within the key signature, and you know that what you're going to be doing is a while Christina Aguilera sings and then the synthesizers play before Pitbull joins a verse or two. So let's get started. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to make sure that we have a 7-measure introduction where only the piano plays, and then followed that will be a double bar. And then what we're going to be doing for the main theme is we are going to have to set 3 core notes and 2 eighth notes, which will equal to 4 beats arrests. And the following notes that are being presented: E, E, C, B, A. I will break this down so that you can hear me. So what you're going to be doing is 2 core note E's, E, E, then up to C, and then B, A, eighth notes. Then the A is going to be tied to the A for the second measure, and then what you're going to be doing for the and of 1 is put a eighth note G, followed by beat 2 being F sharp core note, and then G for being the third beat, which is also going to be a core note. And then you're going to have a rest, and then the rhythmic pattern is going to be similar to what has been for the beginning of the theme, and you will not need to make any changes. It's going to be basically the same as the first measure, which is going to be core note D, corner note D, followed by a core note B, and then eighth note A down to an eighth note G on the and of 4, which is going to be tied to beat 1 G. And then for the next measure, you're going to go F sharp on the and of 1, and then beat 2 will be a core note E, and then beat 3 will be a core note D, followed by a 4th beat rest. And then moving on to the next measure, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be basically repeating the same pattern again, which is going to be like the very beginning at measure 8, and you're going to be doing 3 core notes and 2 eighth notes, which are going to be following E core note to a C core note, followed by a B natural eighth note, followed by an A natural eighth note on the and of 4 tied to beat 1 A natural, and then and of 1 G, quarter note F sharp on beat 2, and beat 3 core note G natural, followed by a rest. And then you're going to be repeating the pattern just like measure 11. Core note D for beat 1, core note D for beat 2, quarter note B for beat 3, and then you're going to do 2 eighth notes for beats 4 and of 4, which the and of 4 is going to be tied to the next note, followed by an eighth note G, and then going on the and of 1 to S sharp, and then beat 2 will be E natural, and then beat 3 will be a chord note D, and then followed by a rest. However, measure 16, what's going to happen is you're going to be doing is measure 16, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be changing the rhythm, because 2 beat half note E natural, and then beat 3, 4, C dotted chord note, followed by a B natural 8th note on the and of 4 at measure 16. Measure 17 is just a whole note A natural, and then what you're going to be doing is measure 17 is going to be D chord note for the first beat, D chord note for the second beat, chord note B for the third beat, followed by beat 4 A natural, followed by a G chord note tied to a G to the next bar for the and of 4 and beat 1, and then for the next bar the and of 1 will still be the F sharp, as well as beat 2 E natural, beat 3 D, rest. And then you're going to basically repeat for measure 20, basically repeat for measure 16, and the drill will once again be E, 2 for a half note E, followed by a dotted quarter C, and then B natural on the end of 4, and then A for measure 21, and then you're going to repeat measure 17 and measure 18, for which you will all know what I just told you. And now let's move on to the next section. What you're going to be doing next is, this is going to be the tricky part. It's going to be a little difficult trying to place the beats on each other. So this will be very difficult for all of you. So what you're going to be doing is you'll have to draw 4th 8 notes for the 2 beats, and it will go E, E, C, A, and then tie the A to beat 3, and then beat 4 is also going to be an A, and then what you're going to do is for measure 24 is that you will be going E, C, A for the 24, just like the rhythm pattern mentioned. But for measure 25, this is where it gets really confusing, and because the way that they sing it is D, D, and then D, 8th notes, which is going to be 1, 2, and then for beat 3 and 4, please be careful. Although you may want to think it's D, it's not D. So you're going to raise it up a major third, which is going to be F sharp, G, A, instead of attempting to do a scale, which is going to be for the third beat of measure 25, it's going to be F sharp, 8 notes. Beat 4 will be G, A, and then measure 26 is going to be 4/8 notes for the first 2 beats, which is going to go G, 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 D, and then tie it to the D for beat 3. But this gets very tricky. Although you may want to think it's a D, but to my ear, that is actually not going to be a D. It is now going to be lowered down a second, which is going to be C. And then for measure 27, you're going to be doing E for the first beat with an 8 note rest on the and of 1, and then 2 and is going to be E, E, and then for when the B bass comes after the C, and that's going to resolve to an A minor chord once again. And the way that you're going to do this is you're going to create all 4/8 notes for beats 3 and 4, but really be careful not to create the same notes, because one of the notes ascends up a step. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing D, D for the first 2 8th notes on beat 3 and 3 and then the 4 and would be E, which is going to be raised up, and then down a step to D, and then you're going to be basically repeating the same drill as mentioned at measure 24, which I'm on measure 28, which is going to be E, E, C, A, 8th notes for the first 2 beats, and then the and of 2 is going to be tied to 3 with an 8th note, and then a rest, and then an 8th note, A for beat 4 of measure 28, and then you're going to get an 8th note rest. But make sure that you're really careful, because you know a lot of the notes can get caught up in your mind, that some of them can be wrong, and I wanted to make sure that you really hear the accuracy of the notes. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing measure 29 is going to be, it's going to be D, 8th note followed by an 8th note for 1 and then 2 and's going to be 2 8th notes D. Watch out once again for beats 3 and 4. It's not going to be an ascending scale, but you're going to do F sharp, G, A for a 2 beat period for the second and for the third and fourth beats of measure 20, which is going to go S sharp, G, A, and then followed by measure 30. We repeat measure 26, which is going to be G, 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 D, 8th notes for the first 2 beats of measure, and then the and of 2 is going to be tied to 1 beat 3, and then followed by an 8th note rest, and then an 8th note before an 8th note rest for the and of 4, and then for measure 31, what you're going to be doing is E natural for the first beat, and then the and of 1, and then the beats 2 and will be E naturals as well in 8th notes, and then beats 3 and 4 it's D, D, E, D, 8th notes for beats 3 and 4, and then we go back to the same process until it ends. And while I want to warn you guys of when you're transcribing, feel this moment, make sure that you're really hearing the accuracy of notes so that you can get everything out as accurately as possible, because a lot of notes get caught up and then suddenly you get a wrong note. So I wanted to let you know that if you do like the G, 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 D, but be careful that beat 4 of measure 26, 30, and 34. Those are G, 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 D, and then tie the 8th note to beat 3 for the D, and instead of this being D, it's going to be lowered down a step, which is going to be a lowered down a step, which is going to be C and not D, and then before that we go up to the E natural for the first beat of measure 35, and this is the same as measure 27, and it's going to go up a major third, and you're going to make sure that you do E natural with a rest for beat 1, 8th note E, and then for the rest is an 8th note rest of the and a 1, then 2 and will be both 8 notes E. And then for this third, beats 3 and 4, please be careful of this, because we don't want to get caught up in a situation that you may seem to think that those are right, but be really careful. So you're going to do D, D for beats 3 and the and of 3, and then you're going to go up a step in 8th notes, which is E for beat 4, and the and of 4 is down a step for D, and then up a step again for E for when Pitbull sings. So I hope that you have learned something from this drill. Thank you so much for taking the time and making the effort to watch this video. And until next time, I'll tune again. See you guys later.